booze, eat it now. So the reason that alcohol is bad for you is not necessarily calories. It is what it does chemically to your body, and it actually releases cortisol into your system, which inhibits fat burn. Okay? So alcohol is not good. The term beer belly is a real thing. Okay? Like, that is a real thing. Adding booze, like, you can have your booze on your Saturday night. So for me, like, there's nothing I love more than wings and a pitcher of beer on a Saturday night. Like, watching college football, that is my night. Like, if you want to know what I'm doing on my cheat night, I guarantee you that's probably what I'm doing. Okay? Unless it's pizza. That might be the only other substitute. But that's what I do every Saturday night. Other than that, like, I'm on point. Okay? What we want to do is teach you how to be able to still have a social life, still be able to do what you want, but be able to get the results that you need. So you are not required to be perfect for 6 weeks. Okay? You're required to be 5, 6 steps forward, tiny step back. 5, 6 steps forward, tiny step back to keep your sanity. That night, typically when I tell people, if you can make it till 6 o'clock, you're typically okay. Now don't go on a bender for 6 hours of food, right? But like, have a meal. If you want to have a couple drinks, totally fine. When you wake up, you're back on point. Okay? Don't let a cheat night turn into a cheat weekend, turn into an all-star Monday, and then I get an email. I didn't lose your weight. Yeah, I know. So
did you say it had to be on Saturday?
We prefer the first week, definitely. And the reason I say it is because the first week you're doing what's called no carbs, or deplete week. Now I'll explain how that works. We'll get a little bit of a head start. But if you want to change your cheat night, you can, but here's the only caveat. It has to be the same night every week so that your body gets that full week in between. So you can't cheat on a Wednesday and then come cheat on a Tuesday and then come cheat on, see what I'm saying? Like, it has to be 7 days in between. So that's why we say Saturday night. If you stick to that, you'll be fine. Okay? We will go over, like, if you have questions on how to eat out, like if you're going out for dinner or parties or whatever, typically if you stick to veggies and meat, you're pretty much good, right? Like, veggies and meat, you're okay. You're gonna get real sick of protein, probably. But ultimately, that's just something that you're gonna have to get used to. So, what I'm going to explain to you is how we actually count macros. There's a thing on the members site which explains this. There's a video that Matt, my old partner, and I put out, which explains exactly how direct macros are counted. But I'm going to give you an example of 3 of them. So online in our members page, there's a food list, right? That is going to be your most important document to print out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's on the Facebook page on the top. It's a pinned post, and it has a link to the members site. She has them printed out. Perfect. So, what we're going to do is I'm just going to go over those real quick. So if you look at the back of a peanut butter label, for instance, all right? It may, and I'm just guessing, so don't go out and find them. Peanut butter typically has a little bit of everything in it, right? What's peanut butter on that list? Fat. Okay, so on the food list, it is fat. So the only thing that I care about when I read the back of that peanut butter, what's the fat content? Now, when I say peanut butter, I mean natural peanut butter. Okay, so remove Jif, unless it's natural, out of your life. Natural peanut butter is what I'm talking about, in case you didn't know. So, same thing with like a let's say lean ground turkey, okay? If it's 93.7 or whatever, if you look at the back of it, let's say it has 23 grams of protein and like 6 grams of fat, we don't care about the fat. We only count the protein. Does that make sense to everyone? Right. If it's on the, so the easiest way to think of it, if it's on the list, whatever it's under on the list, that's all you count. So I'm going to actually make a sample meal plan of a whole day for you guys in just a second, okay? So you know exactly what I'm talking about. Same thing with like quinoa. If anybody knows what that is, it's like weird little rice stuff. If you actually look at that, it has 40 grams of carbs per cup, but it also has 10 grams of protein. Same idea. It's on the carb list. The only thing we count is the carbs. Okay? So when I say direct macros, you're actually going to be eating far more calories than what I give you. We're just not counting them. Does that make sense? So our program has about 400 to 600 calorie variance in it, depending on the foods you choose. So if we send you back macros and it says like 1,100 calories, remember, that's direct calories. You're probably actually eating closer to 15 to 1,800 calories. Does that make sense? We just don't care because we don't count everything. The reason we do that is because it makes learning how to count macros super easy. you're gonna be confused for the first 2 weeks. I promise you. There's gonna be more questions in the first 2 weeks on that Facebook group. That's why I told everybody, turn notifications off, because, or else your phone's just gonna be blowing up. It's because people are asking questions. That's totally fine. I want you to figure it out. Your job is to ask questions, so you know. Okay? But, that being said, I'm gonna tell you this, and you're gonna hear me sing this song probably 100 times. Stick to the list. Okay? Don't get creative with recipes. Don't get creative with stuff for at least the first 2 weeks. Just give it 2 weeks so you get used to what you're trying to do. Then you can get creative. I actually have one lady in the group, Sandy. She on the Facebook group. She is one of my old clients from Holland. She has a ton of amazing recipes, and she was like, "Can I post them? Can I post them?" I'm like, no, not yet. Don't confuse me. But she really wants to help. So she's gonna post recipes. I told her she has to wait a couple weeks to do that. But if you ever are like, I can't eat this same boring stuff anymore, I need help. If you just put that, people will start posting what they're eating, and it'll give you more ideas, okay? I promise you, it's a really cool thing. But for the first week, be boring. First 2 weeks, be boring. Just till you get it. Once you go, oh, this is all I have to do, then you're ready to do whatever you want with it, okay? As long as you're hitting your numbers and you're sticking to it. So, what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna make this really simple. I'm actually going to do a day's worth of meal planning for you. Now, you can follow along and write this on the back of a sheet of paper if you want. If you don't want to, again, there's a video on the members page where we explain all this. So let's say 4 meals. Okay. And let's say, just for an example, that your macros are 160 and 80, so they're really easy divided by 4, protein and fat. Okay? So if I know that, I divide that out by 4, because that's how many meals I decided, because you can choose 4, 5, or 6. It's up to you. Okay? All I ask you to do is be consistent. Don't do 4 one day, 5 the next day, 6 the next day, 4. Pick one and stick with it for a week, and then if at the end of the week you go, man, I really should have moved it up to 5 or moved it down to 4 or whatever, totally fine. Be consistent for the first week.
How many meals, is that what you're saying?
Yes, yeah, with how many meals did you choose? And then 4 divided by 80 is 20, so you guys are required to do a little bit of simple math. If you need help, let me know. So this would be protein and fat. So your first week, you don't get any direct carbohydrates, okay? If you cheated and looked ahead, there is a weekly breakdown. The first week is called deplete week. You get no direct carbohydrates. The reason we do that is because if we start a diet on Monday, what's everybody doing the weekend before? Right? Yeah. I've never had anybody go, oh, I'm starting my diet on Sunday, I better be good. Like, no, that's never happened. So, the reason we do that is because we want to deplete your glycogen stores to get everyone back down to base, and then we can put your carbs back into your system. Okay? But it's designed to kind of get you down. So the first week, typically for a lot of people, will be your largest scale victory week. What I mean by that is you'll probably lose the most amount of weight the first week. Don't be upset if you don't. But the first week you may lose a lot of weight. Probably 80% of it is water weight. Don't get that excited. Okay, if you lose 9 pounds in a week, that's not healthy. Fat loss is 1 to 3 pounds a week. Healthy fat loss is 1 to 3 pounds a week. Jamie, who I will probably post pictures on, she is one of my favorite human beings. She started at 5 in the morning at 365 pounds. She's 5'1". She obviously had to be given a lot of modifications, right? She could pretty much do one exercise because she couldn't get up and down and move fast enough. I didn't think she was showing up there. Did not think she was doing that. She did. Every single day. She never had a week where she lost over 4 pounds, and since then, and she started with me a year and a half, 2 years ago now, she's on 175 pounds. Okay? She's never had a huge week. Ever. She's never had a week of over 4 pounds. She was consistent, and consistent, and consistent, and consistent, and that's all she did. Okay? And she said she's going to come down and visit us, so if she does, I'll let you know. But she is the living testament of if you just do it consistently, you trust the process, I will get you to wherever you want to be. I have never had a client I have not been able to help. Okay? I have trained amateur bodybuilders, fitness models, athletes, combine athletes, you name it, I've trained them. Up to a gentleman who weighed 551 pounds. He came in, and I made him get a doctor's note, if you best believe. He was only allowed to do upper body movements, so we had him work out 2 days a week, changed his diet. In 6 weeks, he lost 60 pounds. But again, he had 550 pounds, right? That's a lot of weight to lose. Anything is possible for you guys if you just show up and do the work. I will get you to wherever you want to be. You just have to trust me to do what I say. I can only help you as much as you help yourself, okay? So whatever your goal is, we will get you there. We'll go over that a little bit more at the end before I get too sidetracked. So, what's your name that printed out the food list?
Michelle.
Michelle, that's right. I should have known you. You're the one that posted it. Okay. I'm trying to learn people, so I stalk them on Facebook. It's really creepy. All right, so Michelle, what protein do you want to eat for breakfast?
Oatmeal.
Protein.
Oh.
So, what's on your list?
I'm the vegan.
Okay, so we're gonna choose someone else.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Okay, so your options are obviously going to be a little bit more limited. Okay, and we'll go through that with you. You may actually have to do a little bit of a different thing. So I will go over that with you though on your report. Okay, so your carbs will actually, you won't have to do the no carbs. Nobody else is turning vegan.
I've been vegan 2 years.
Right, so we'll go through some stuff. You might have to add a little bit more carbs to hit your protein, but that's okay. Not a big deal. We'll take care of it. Does anybody else print off the food list? Gosh. All right. Who has no clue about meal planning that really wants some? Done. You have the food list. Done. All right. Pick a protein that you like for breakfast. Egg. Okay. So here's the deal. You'll notice that egg beaters are on there. Eggs count as both, right? So eggs are the only food that count as a protein and a fat because they're equal amounts. Okay? So you'll notice if you look on the protein list, eggs is not technically on there, it's on both. Egg whites and egg beaters are fine. Those only count as protein, okay? So let's just say egg beaters for the sake of argument. So 40 grams of protein in egg beaters. If you don't know how much that is, have you guys ever seen like egg beaters or egg whites in those containers? The bigger containers? It's about half the container. Yeah. So the only reason I tell you that is because you're going to find out very quickly that some of the foods you're like, oh, I really like this food, you have to eat so much of, it may not be advantageous for you. Okay? So like egg beaters are very I love it because I get to eat and I just like the act of eating. So for me, it works out really well. For some people, if you're not used to eating, you may want to do half and half. So do half egg beaters and then maybe a scoop of protein, right?
You can't do a full egg? I don't get it.
You can do a full egg, but you have to count the fat too.
Oh, so that would be used as some of your fat?
Yes. The egg is the only thing that counts. Okay? So if we did, let's say for meal 2, I'm going to make this real easy for you. Let's say we did a shake, all right? So if you were using a typical protein powder, that'd be almost 2 scoops, about a scoop and a half to 2 scoops of protein, okay? And then for fat, you can do, peanut butter. You can do, I love peanut butter. Yeah, you can mix whatever you want in there. Blend it up. So you can use almond milk. You might want to write this down. Almond milk, coconut milk, cashew milk, soy milk. Any of that stuff is fine, and it doesn't count as anything if you want to mix it with your shake. Okay? If you want to use water, that's the stuff. I really can't stand it. I think it just tastes terrible. And I was a 2% milk drinker my entire childhood growing up. And I can't stand just drinking the other stuff. But if I put it in my shake, I can't tell the difference. Okay, so I'm with you, normal milk people, but this one, it doesn't have any of the carbs or the sugar.
Can you use soy milk?
Yes, yep, soy sauce.
Nothing.
Nothing, as long as you're just using it in your shake.
And only if you're not using the extra vanilla flavor.
Correct. You just want unsweetened, plain, low calorie, and because it doesn't have anything in it. It's 1 gram of fat or 2 grams of fat for 8 ounces. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. It's 70 calories you have. Okay? So you can put that in your blender or whatever you want to do, or if you want to just bring some